Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast, episode 122. I'm your host, Perrysburg resident Kim Newlove. The Perrysburg Podcast is a resource for Perrysburg residents. We talk about what's in Perrysburg and why people like to live here. Our website is perrysburgpodcast.com. Today, we are talking about legacy interviews. People in Perrysburg and really everywhere in the world have stories inside them. And legacy interviews can capture those stories, record them, and preserve them. I will be buying a legacy interview product for my parents as a holiday gift this year, and I want to tell you about it. Each parent is going to get one of these products. The two products that I am considering are called Storyworth and Remento, two different products. Now, my parents are each going to do this. They don't know it yet, but I have talked to them about doing legacy interviews. So maybe mom will choose Storyworth and dad will choose Remento, or maybe both of them will choose Storyworth, or both of them will choose Remento. I don't know because we have not figured it out yet, but I wanted to talk about this today. I would like to capture my parents' stories before they're gone. They're 75 years old, and I'm not trying to be morbid, but I want to share my parents' stories with my kids and my future grandkids. I'm 47. I have no grandkids, but maybe I'll be blessed with them someday. So I would like them to learn about my parents' lives and experiences. I don't even know everything, and I've known my parents since I was born. It would be very meaningful and feel very personal to get this gift for all of us. I want the stories, but I want to enjoy hearing my parents tell me these stories. And by the way, this episode is not sponsored. I'm not compensated in any way for talking about these products, Storyworth or Remento. Let's cover some background information so we're all on the same page. What is a legacy interview? This may be the first time you have ever heard of a legacy interview. So, what I did is I went all modern and I asked ChatGPT, what is a legacy interview? And ChatGPT said that a legacy interview is a conversation that preserves a person's memories, stories, values, and life lessons for future generations. Thanks, ChatGPT. According to my research, there is more than one way to conduct a legacy interview. You've got a storyteller. In my case, it's my mom or my dad, and they can answer questions with either a pen and paper. They can type on a computer. They could record an audio interview, kind of like a podcast interview, or they could record a video interview, like a YouTube video. Any way you slice it, the product of a legacy interview is a memoir of sorts. These stories could become a book, an audio file, or a video. Or it could be more than one of the above. Now that you know what a legacy interview is and what you can do with it, let's talk about Storyworth and Remento. Both of them are sold online, separately, of course, for $99 each. However, there is actually a Black Friday sale going on right now. Again, I don't get compensated for advertising this or talking about it. I'm just telling you what I found. You can buy Storyworth or Remento for $84. Black Friday deal. I have links to Storyworth and Remento in the show notes on perrysburgpodcast.com. How does Storyworth work? Let's talk about that first. According to their website, step one is you ask the storyteller questions. Now, in my case, it's my mom or my dad. Each one will be answering questions separately. However, their answers may be similar or the same for some of the prompts, right? The website says that Storyworth sends your loved one weekly questions, and those questions will inspire them to share stories and photos. Storyworth's library has more than 500 questions to choose from, but you can, of course, write your own questions. And as an alternative, you can tell Storyworth a few facts about mom or dad's life, and then they will suggest personalized questions tailored for just them. And I can totally see that website generating questions about my mom's job. She was an English teacher, a high school English teacher. And she was, in fact, my teacher my freshman year. So if we tell Storyworth all these details, I wonder if it would ask, what was it like having your daughter as a student? Actually, she was my sister's English teacher in her freshman year too, I believe, and my brother's as well. So we could tell Storyworth that, and it could ask, what was it like having all three of your children as students when they were in high school? Some of the examples of standard questions on Storyworth's website include number one, what things matter most to you in life? Number two, do you have any regrets in life? Number three, what is one of your fondest childhood memories? And number four, if you were to do it all over, what would you do differently? That's a good one. So there's a lot of good questions on the website if you just want to check out and see what the writing prompts are. Step two, write or record stories. According to the website, mom or dad can tell stories by email, online in their Storyworth account, or by voice recording over the phone. Unlimited photos can be added as well. And step three, that's the last step that they have on their website, is print, read, and reread. The website says after a year of writing, the book will be ready to order! Exclamation point. One full color book is included, up to 300 pages. Free shipping in the United States. That's all I'm going to read to you from the Storyworth website. Now let's talk about Remento. How does Remento work? According to Remento's website, it is very similar to Storyworth, but the stories are captured using video recordings. You pick prompts, you get a new one every week, you respond by video, and you create a book as the product. What sets Remento apart is that you also get a printed QR code with each story. If you don't know what a QR code is, a QR code is a square shaped code that you can scan with a smartphone. And in this case, what you get is a video that you can watch there on your smartphone instead of reading the story. So in the printed book, there's a QR code, and when you scan it, you get to watch the video of the storyteller telling the story, which I think is pretty cool. Now, when it comes to the printed book with Remento, it looks like there's software involved that takes out filler words and it can print the story in first person or third person. I imagine that there's probably some AI involved with this, although they don't come right out and say it. My parents know that I want to gift them one or the other of these for a holiday gift this year. I would like to do legacy interviews at my parents' house. Now, I think that my mom would do better with Storyworth because she likes to write. She's a retired English teacher. And then my dad, on the other hand, does not like to write that I know of. Dad would probably do better with Remento because it's video based and it seems like AI would write my dad's story in first or third person for him. That just sounds easier. Now, Storyworth and Remento both let you edit your written story before it's printed in the book, so that's the good news. I'll just have to ask my parents which one they'd like to use whenever we get together for Thanksgiving. That'll probably be a great time to talk about this because we're actually getting together on Black Friday, which is the day after Thanksgiving. I think we're all going to enjoy sharing stories and creating this printed memoir. The process could be a little awkward as we get started, but I think we all want the same thing. We want to share stories. I want the stories, and I'm sure they'd enjoy telling me. I'd also like to bring my podcasting equipment along and help them record their stories. I'm new to this, they're new to this, and I'd like to figure it all out together. And if it goes well for mom and dad, what I'd like to do is consider offering legacy interview services here in Perrysburg, but it's still early. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I am interested in doing that. First, I got to start with my own family. One thing's for sure, I will be spending a lot of time with my mom and dad this year trying to complete their memoirs. $84 is an affordable price, and we are going to make a very meaningful keepsake. Two meaningful keepsakes, and I'm excited. If you're interested in Storyworth or Remento, go ahead and check out the links to each of them in the show notes on perrysburgpodcast.com. And also, I encourage you to read the customer reviews. There's a lot of good information in there. Success stories, yes, but also some words of caution. And heads up, Storyworth has printed more than 1 million books since the year 2013, and they have more than 61,000 reviews. There's a lot of great feedback there on those reviews. Remento, on the other hand, hasn't been around as long. It's only been around since the year 2020, and they have just over 1,000 customer reviews. Real quick, I want to share a bonus fact about Remento with you before I let you go. Remento was featured, I believe, this year in 2025 on the TV show Shark Tank. So if you want to learn more about Remento, check out Remento on Shark Tank. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for joining me today and letting me tell you about legacy interviews, Storyworth, and Remento. This has been episode 122 of the Perrysburg Podcast. The show notes are on perrysburgpodcast.com. In the show notes, you'll find links to Storyworth and Remento and a link to sign up for the weekly newsletter for this podcast. If you sign up, I'll email you every time a new episode comes out. If you know someone who might like this episode, go ahead and share it with them. And subscribe to or follow the Perrysburg Podcast on your favorite podcast player and YouTube to get each new episode right when it comes out. Happy Thanksgiving just a little bit early, and I'll talk to you next week.